The hate army troll.
It's the hate army,
bro. The hate army.
Shout out to hate.
Good vibes to the
Shout
hate
out to
army.
hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out
Shout
for
out to
hate.
Shout out to hate.
Shout out for
Shout
hate.
out for hate.
I think we should do a little segment that we like to do once a week that we call Phil's Day Off. What do you think about that? Phil's Day Off, folks. What would you like to talk about today? What did I do yesterday? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Well, maybe I'll change the color. Hold on a second here. Hold on. How about blue? How about some blue? Does that stand out a little better? It's all right. What color should we use for today? I like that I can change it. I just wish that I thought about this before we started. Green. How about that? We'll do minty green for today, just because I feel like being weird. Okay, so Phil's Day Off was yesterday. Okay? And basically yesterday was a very crazy day. And what I mean is we had a ton of stuff that we needed to do. We didn't know how much of what we had lined up to do we were going to be able to do because we didn't know how long various things we had to do during the day were going to take. And we were running around a lot of that day. So, all right. Here's what I can tell you we did. Obviously, I put my head in a lawnmower. No, I got a haircut, right? So obviously that makes sense. And that was nice. I figured for the fall season now, air conditioner's out. Want to have better hair so that way it can help me cool down on a hotter day like today. Like today I know is going to be hotter in here. So it'll be nice to have a nice fresh haircut starting with this busier autumn gaming season. So I did that. Basically all the usual errands. You know, things you don't really care about. You know, grocery shopping, pet supplies, stuff like that. And, you know, this time around I was a little annoyed. I'll be honest. All right? Because the paparazzi was following me around. There was like speeding cars behind me as I drove around my normal day off. Oh, it was crazy. There was like a whole conga line of cars following me everywhere I went. Obviously, I'm just being facetious. Following up on a couple weeks ago, a ridiculous story that hit the internet from my idiotic detractor. So, you know, still running with that. But, yeah, it was a normal day out. There was nothing really crazy going on in regards to, like, anything, you know, there. Besides, we just had a lot to do. Had a lot of driving to do. That was for sure because of the appointments and things that we had. We were driving half the day, I would say. It was a cooler day, which was nice. It was nice that it was cool out because even though it was sunny, we weren't overheated or hot because now the temperatures have cooled down here. One thing I did do is during the day out, I had a chance to stop by a store that sells, you know, name brand clothes at a discount. And I ended up getting a few longer sleeve shirts for the fall. As you know, I recently have started changing my wardrobe for streams. You guys have said you're so tired of the gaming shirts that I've worn for over 10 years. Mix it up and dress differently. And I said, okay. So over the summer, I started alternating these nicer kind of summertime button-down shirts that are very cooling and relaxing. And you guys liked them, right? So now I'm like, well, what should I do for the fall when it gets cooler? So, well, maybe I should have some nice long sleeve shirts and things like that that I could wear on stream, which is normal clothing that I would wear if I weren't on stream, actually. Found a few of them for very good prices. You know, I didn't spend more than, I think, $15 on a single piece of clothing that I got yesterday. And I got a few of them. I want to say I got like 3 shirts or something like that. I already have some. The thing is, you guys have literally never seen me wear them because I've always worn gaming shirts on streams. So when it gets cooler, it's not cool enough to do it yet, especially now with this, you know, sun and everything. It's still going to be hot, but give it a few weeks to a month. Once we get into the full fall weather and the winter time as well, and it's colder, I will be able to wear those on stream, and it'll look a little different. You know, it won't have the short sleeve summertime look anymore. It'll be more of a fall look. And I'm excited for that because they're comfy. You know, you get nice comfy clothes, and they kind of sit around. I actually told you guys that right before I moved out here, because I used to live in Connecticut, and I moved out here in 2014, I had actually bought a bunch of clothes because in Connecticut it was very cold, much colder than it is here in the winters. And basically I bought a bunch of clothes and I moved out here and I was like, I don't really have need for these. When I'm on stream, I wear t-shirts, you know, so I basically kind of had them just kind of sitting around. So I have some clothing that I can actually wear on streams that should look nice once the temps dip. So we'll see what happens with that. how quickly it happens. If it happens sooner rather than later, great. But I foresee I'll probably be wearing these style of shirts for a few more weeks at least until the temperatures permanently dip and we get more fall weather. It's cooler in here. Like I said, right now in here it's probably like 70-something degrees, but I guarantee you by the end of today's stream it'll be like almost 90 because that's how much this room heats up when there's sun on the wall in the afternoons. But if the temperatures dipped, it wouldn't matter, you see. So a lot of things that you guys always ask is, what do we do for food? Well, particularly yesterday, we had a different kind of day. And what I mean by that is we actually had to get to an appointment on the earlier side. And then we had other appointments, and we didn't know how long those appointments were going to last. Okay? So because of that, essentially, we had to do weird food stuff. Like normally we wouldn't, but we actually ordered in a breakfast yesterday. Okay, which we usually wouldn't do. But we did that because we're like, okay, let's order in a breakfast because we need to eat quick so we can get ready to go and not be late for our first appointment. We can't grab food while we're out because number one, it'll be too late. And number two, we don't know how much time we would have. We can't sit down anywhere. Let's just order something in. So we had actually ordered a breakfast, and it's from a local place that we really like. But we have noticed in the last couple of years, the place can be very hit or miss. And what I mean by that is sometimes this place is absolutely outstanding. Super good food, great quality, and then other times they screw it all up. And sadly, yesterday was one of those days. We ordered the food, it took over an hour to get it, and it was their fault. They were taking forever to make the food. So were they busy? I mean, maybe, but when you get an order, do you really take like an hour to make the food? And it really did. It took them that long. By the time the food showed up, we were already running late because we were expecting the food was going to show up earlier. And then the food was all, let me put it this way. They didn't really mess it up. But for example, let's say you're ordering a breakfast combo. And you're like, okay, well, normally what we would do is we would do a substitute. Because one of the breakfast combos comes with, say, sausage, and we don't want the sausage. So we would put a note and say, hey, if possible, could you just give us like an egg in here instead of the sausage? Because we really don't feel like the sausage. So they didn't read any of our notes whatsoever. They disregarded all of them as if we had never written them. And then in addition to that, they didn't give us half the stuff that goes with the food. So if you're getting a breakfast combo and it's supposed to come with like a kind of jelly or jam, and it's supposed to come with some kind of a condiment to go with it, they gave us nothing, right? So my wife really likes ordering breakfast crepes from this place. We order breakfast crepes. They gave us absolutely nothing to go with them. So it was just plain crepes. Plain. Do you know what plain crepes taste like? They're not great. You need to have something with the crepe to make it taste better. And that was the point. It was supposed to come with a bunch of stuff. It came with nothing. They ripped us off, basically. Say my food, I ordered a breakfast combo. And again, we've ordered from this place before. This place, it was so greasy. And it was just eggs over easy, like a couple pieces of bacon, and some breakfast potatoes. And the whole thing was just like dripping with grease. I was like, dude, I've never seen it this bad before. It was really disgusting. So we didn't even eat that much. To be honest, like we didn't even eat that much for breakfast. We kind of each ate a little bit of each of our breakfasts, and we were very disappointed with it. I'm like, well, that sucks. What can you do? We were in a rush to get food. The food shows up late, and then it's not even good. So then, like I said, we had gone out and we had done a whole bunch of stuff, multiple appointments, haircut appointment, other appointments and things we had to do. And this ended up being a day where, and this almost never happens on our day off, but we got so wrapped up in everything we were doing, we were out way late. Like typically I would say on a usual day off, we would end our day with getting dinner somewhere or coming home and ordering dinner. In this case, we were out past like 9 p.m. and we hadn't even eaten yet. Okay? That's how crazy busy of a day it was for us. So we get home, and of course Jasper's like, where have you been? You've been out so long today, you're never out that long. And he's right, it's a little out of the ordinary. So he came home, we're like, well, what are we going to do? I mean, we could have tried to eat out at like 9 p.m., but at that point it's so late, and a lot of places are closing, and also if there are people out, might be busy. You're like, yeah. So we came home, and of all things, okay, guess what we had for dinner yesterday? You'd never guess, all right? Burger King. Yes, that's right. We had Burger King for dinner yesterday. And I will say this, all right? Burger King is not bad if you can get it from a decent location, much like any of these franchise fast food places. We have been to absolutely atrociously bad Burger Kings. the one that we went to 2 years ago, that gave us the infamously bad chicken sandwich that was inedible. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's infamous. But if you can go to a good one or order from a good one, it's actually not that bad. And what we ended up finding out, because we came home and we were really hungry. We're like, but what are we going to do? Am I going to go out, drive again, and just grab something? And my wife was like, well, is there something quick we could just order, you know? And we started looking online. The problem is all the fast food places online are insanely expensive. They up their prices like crazy. But when we were looking around, like Burger King, they actually had like a nice family pack where you can get like a bunch of burgers and some sides for like $20. And I was like, well, if you order just like a combo, it's like $15 on these delivery apps. But if you order this special delivery combo, it's like way cheaper. I was like, oh, so let's do that. So we just ordered that, and it ended up, yeah, we got a Whoppers, cheeseburgers, fries, and an onion rings showed up. I'm like, okay. And I haven't had Burger King onion rings in a while, and I'll be honest, they used to be much better, but they weren't that bad. I like them better than Burger King fries. And we each had like a Whopper, you know, which is good. The Whopper is still the consistently good burger at Burger King. It's still a giant meat patty. It's still got the flame broiled taste. It's got the condiments. It's got the everything you want on there, you know. I was not disappointed, even though obviously on our day off typically we would eat out at a restaurant or order in somewhere nice, you know, being that it was such an insane day and we were running around the whole day and we didn't really have time to do much. We just rushed, and that's what we had, and it wasn't bad. I was pleased. So, you know, again, and it depends, because by the way, yes, the Burger King we ordered from was not the Burger King that infamously gave me the terrible chicken sandwich 2 years ago. It was a different location, and this one did a really good job. In fact, for delivery now, they package it up nicely into individualized bags. So, like, one bag had, like, all the sandwiches, and the other bag had, like, fries and onion rings separated, and those were sealed, and then they put that inside of a bigger bag that's, again, sealed. So it's really nice for delivery. I was like, Dad, they actually did a good job with this. It wasn't like they rushed it and put it in shit and someone just runs out the door with it. They actually package it nicely for delivery services. And I was like, all right, well, that's not bad at all. So, there you go. I wasn't displeased with what it was. And by the way, like I said, these days when you go to a fast food place and you buy a combo, it's probably like $10 for the combo after tax. This package was $20 for the whole thing, for all this food. And I was like, so basically we paid what we would have paid if I drove there, and we ended up getting more food actually, because we didn't get drinks, but instead we got more food. I'm like, this is not bad, you know? So there you go. 2 years later, Burger King has redeemed themselves in my eyes, this location. And that's the thing. It depends on what location you go to. Burger King redeemed themselves in my eyes. Not to say that we'd be eating Burger King constantly. We're not going to. We rarely eat fast food. But for something, a rarity of a day that we were out so late, it actually wasn't that bad. So, there you go. And that's really it. I don't really have crazy amounts of stuff to talk about from Phil's day off this week. Like I said, it was just a crazy day, very busy day. I had told you guys on Wednesday, because some people were like, oh, so the week before you did an impromptu Street Fighter 6 stream. Will you be doing an impromptu stream this week? I was like, don't count on it, because the amount of appointments and stuff that we had lined up, there was a very, very slim chance that we were going to have extra time for anything, and incidentally, we didn't. We had no time for anything. We were just so super busy, right? All right, so that's the Phil's Day Off segment. Very, very, very exciting, guys. I know you look forward to it every week. Okay.
Typically helps me more than anything.